Hi everybody. This is a quick discussion video about state of Sonic the Hedgehog, present, past, and future. All from my opinion, of course. Most people just since Sonic Lost World came out a month ago, or was it a month and a half ago? Yeah, a month and a half ago, people said Sonic's doomed again. Now he's going back downhill. I can. Some people disagree with it. Some people will agree with that. Some people are indifferent towards it. A lot of people say that Lost World is a bad game, then that it's not worth playing at all, which is completely not the case. But enough about Lost World for now. We'll get back to that later. The purpose of this video is for the whole history of Sonic. Now, recently, I've, one of my friends has done a full playthrough of Sonic 06. Yes, that game is considered the worst Sonic game ever made, if you don't count like the Labyrinth or Spinball, the Game Gear version, or the GBA version of Sonic 1. But, as in terms of a main series title that goes on with the series, 06 is definitely the worst one, yes. But after myself playing through it again, I kind of realized not as bad as it's been shown to be. And according to my friend too, he also thinks it's a mad game. He gave it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, it's a bad rating. But he also says that the gameplay, with doesn't run into glitches, is a fairly decent game. I mean, it's not unplayable mess like it used to be. Most people say it is. So that being the case, the worst game in history is obviously not as bad as people say it's gonna be. So I still say like Sonic's demise was over exaggerated. So in the case, that being the case, if you look at the whole entire history from the classic era to the adventure era to the, let's say, the Heroes, Shadows in 06, and then the rest of the modern era, including Lost World, the 16 main series title games, spin-offs, and the handhelds, I'll include them in because they're important to Sonic's history, and we should have them in just because they're well-known games that people played. And back when people say Sonic was terrible when 06 and Shadow, the Rush Adventure and Advanced titles kept Sonic alive, and people would neglect to mention them when talking about how bad Sonic's been in the past few years before Colors came out. That being said, speaking of Colors and Generations Unleashed, the Boost trilogy, as I dub it. Some people don't like them. Like I've seen a lot of people in my Facebook group saying like that they don't like Colors, they don't like Generations, they don't like Lost World, and that's their focus in too much focus on the Mario, which is it's kind of odd thinking because Sonic was meant to be the anti-Mario. He was created to be a fast Mario. It's because the original Sonic the Hedgehog was developed with speedrunning Mario World 1-1 and Super Mario Brothers. So I disagree that Colors and Generations are bad games. I love both games. But I can definitely see where people come from when they say they don't like them, because like those two games, because the story is subpar at best, and the gameplay is Sonic-y and it's not Sonic-y at the same time. With Lost World, since most Sonic fans will say it goes back in Sonic Extreme, and I do as well, but Ishizaka said himself is Galaxy-based. He took inspiration from Galaxy and never mentioned Extreme. He didn't even notice it before. No, he actually mentioned Extreme, but he said it didn't directly go into the development cycle. Now, what Lost World? Sonic being slow in that game actually isn't too bad. Because a lot of people, defenders of the game, are saying that like the slower Sonic is a good pace for platforming. And Sonic's always been a platformer. He's been a speedy platformer, I should say. Speedy platformer. With the perfect balance of speed, platforming, and exploration. With multiple pathways of high. Because the way a classic Sonic game's level design would be is three different pathways: the lower pathway, the middle pathway, and the high pathway. The high pathway usually is the fastest route, the hardest to stay on, but it's the most rewarding. The lower pathway is the least rewarding, the slowest, and the easiest to get on. The middle is in the middle. Obviously, it's called the middle. And that's why Classic is so good, because it balances between speed and platforming. And then it has vertical and horizontal platforming base. So like vertical platforming is going up and down, obviously. It's and then loop and trademark loop style platforming where it's fast jumping from one platform to another compared to Mario where it's blocked. And like it'll have like Crash and Spyro. They're like even you can put in Ratchet and Clank. They're similar types of platforming Sonic does, but it can be only trace back to Mario. That's going off the point. The adventure style gameplay, that is classic Sonic. This in 3D. If you just take Sonic's gameplay, Sonic and Tails gameplay, that is classic Sonic in 3D. Other people like the adventure series so much. I love the adventure series. I think it's a tier below the classics, and I'm not gonna call myself a classic fanboy because I love both iterations of Sonic, modern and classic. I love both iterations. But I will say I am biased towards classic because I grew up with him. Because I started playing Sonic when I was 3, and I always enjoyed the series since then. I've always defended him from people who don't like him and troll him, just say that Sonic's never been good since the Genesis games. Anyway, but like, even the games aren't really good. Like I mentioned 06 earlier. That game it's glitchy, very glitchy and buggy, and wasn't finished because Microsoft rushed Sega to get it in release for holidays. But the game is playable. The game is like the game I 100% of myself. It's not unplayable. It's unplayable for people who say it's unplayable and just try to get glitches. Sure, people have gotten glitches, and it's unfortunate for them. I feel bad for those guys. And I've myself gotten good glitches as well. The game is glitchy. I will always gonna deny that. But games like Heroes is not a bad game. It's unorthodox. It's weird at times, and Team Rose is not even worth playing. I mean, the knock to that game is you have to play it 4 times again, over and over again, 4 times with Chaotix, Dark, Sonic, and Rose. That's a knock on the game. The gameplay itself is fine. The Chaotix can be booted out. I don't even mind. I like the Chaotix. They're a good, fun character to play with. But they don't really need to be in the game. It's basically for story purposes. But their gameplay is fine if you just look at their gameplay from non-Sonic related stuff. The team-based gameplay is actually fairly decent. I mean, and I see no problems with it. It translated well, and it played well. And other games in the series, more hated games. I personally hate Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't like his character versus Adventure 2. I don't like his because he should have died in Adventure 2. Because the whole end, when he survived the ending of Adventure 2, it derailed the actual ending itself. I just don't see how his character survives his post Adventure 2. I mean, it just completely destroys it. Because him him having androids and heroes completely just, I don't know, I just don't see the point. of happening, and the backstory and the final boss for when in Shadow Hedgehog when you fight Devil Doom and him saying that he's a hybrid alien makes it even weirder. I mean, he should have just died in Adventure 2. It's been better that way. He was a great character in Adventure 2, and just uh, so but I just think Sonic will be okay going into Lost World again. As people know now, Sonic's always been a game of trilogies. The classic trilogy, and not and CD, but CD's a little different from the trilogies. So I'm combining Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. They're eventually one and the same game. And then the Adventures, I'm including the Adventure trilogy. I'm including '06 in the Adventure trilogy because that is Sonic Adventure 3 in a nutshell. No, but because it pretty much no, you can't disagree. It's not Sonic Adventure 3. It's basically the exact same gameplay as the adventure games, just not as good. It's buggier. And then the Boost trilogy. So because it Unleashed, Colors, and Generations. So I'm definitely gonna say Lost World's gonna get a trilogy. There's no way it's not, because we all know the next game is gonna be a parkour game. Well, we shouldn't like, and even Sonic 4. Actually, could bring in Sonic 4 into too. Yeah, Sonic 4 was a colossal failure in classic minds. Sonic Episode 1 had terrible physics, had rehashes up the wazoo and all that stuff. Yes. Episode 2 was better, but still wasn't up to par with Sonic 3 Knuckles, which people want it to be. And I'm saying that's why it couldn't live up to the hype, because if they even had hype to begin with, because it's directly compared it to the best, presumably the best game in the series, one of most people's opinions. Now, people can say Adventure 2, people can say Generations, people can say like other the favorite game in the series. No disregarding that. And so, but I think Sonic's gonna be okay. And he's okay right now. Lost World honestly wasn't that bad of a game. It's a good experimental. If you compare it to Unleashed, it actually fared better than Unleashed did. Unleashed got panned by critics terribly. At least Lost World was global. They had great ratings and had terrible ratings, and ones in the middle. Unleashed had poor ratings all around. I mean, like 1 or 2 good ratings. So that's why I say Sonic's in decent state right now. I mean, he can only get better in this game, because Colors directly followed Unleashed, and people loved Colors, the critics and majority of the fans. So that's why I believe Sonic will be okay, and his future will be fine too. So looking back at in the history of Sonic the Hedgehog, I honestly think he hasn't had that bad games. The only real bad game is '06. And I know I'm reiterating over and over again what I'm saying, but the only real bad game is '06 and Shadow. If you hate Shadow's character like I do, that's the only reason why I don't like Shadow. Other than that, Shadow's gameplay isn't bad. It's basically heroes, just like the teams. So that's basically it. I mean, feel free to comment and post reasons why you disagree with me or agree with me or anything, and just share around, talk about it. I mean, Sonic's a very popular character still. He's still the most popular character in the United Kingdom, from what I know from now. And he's still fairly popular in the States. And so he still has this balloon in Thanksgiving Day parade. I mean, Mario hasn't even had that yet. So I don't think he's ever had that. So he's still a popular character, and people still love Sonic, and Nintendo still loves Sonic, and Nintendo is another reason why people don't like Sonic anymore. But that's a different story. That's not part of here. We can bring Nintendo up because of the series, because the next game had to be on Nintendo console because of the partnership that Sega has with Nintendo, and plus the crossover with Yoshi's Island, or let's just say Yoshi's Story, because basically it's not really Yoshi's Island, it's Yoshi's Story. And Yarn Yoshi, which still hasn't been really brought up with Nintendo, but that's a different story. That's not Sonic related. And the Zelda DLC is coming up for Lost World too. But so yeah, people and Wolf once I guess once the Xbox One and the PS4 game gets announced, people will be more hyped for that than War for Lost World because it's for next gen. If people really want to call that next gen, but for some reason people still hate the Wii U, even though the Wii U has gotten a lot better since since 3D World came out and Hyrule Warriors looks good and people love Zelda and well personally I love Zelda and Dynasty Warriors so I'm hyped for that anyway. But um but yeah, all I'm saying is Sonic's fine. He's not gonna die. I don't think he's ever died. So and and in the next couple years we'll see games that are relatively close to what Colors and Generations were in the last few years ago. So, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and you know, then it's not that's all there is to it. It's not that big of a deal. But my mind, he'll be just fine, and we'll move on from where it is. So I guess I'll see y'all later. Bye.